The mid-season review. What a season it's been so far. Let's have a look into it. So we'll just jump right into this review. And at the moment, as I'm recording this, we are sitting third on the ladder. And if you had told me after we started 0-3 and had that shambolic, gormless loss to the Saints, I would have said, not so much season done, but I wonder what I said in the review video. I might go back and watch that. But I wouldn't have said that we were third. That's for sure. I would have said we were maybe pushing into the eight. But to sit third with what we have endured in the first 14 rounds is incredible. It's not only a testament to the players, it's a testament to the club and to the fans for the. I think I was going to say adversity, but I think that's a bit of a strong word. But I guess in some way the adversity of all the injuries that we've been having. I know we're not the only team with injuries, but I don't really care about the other teams. At one point we had 15 players on the injury list. We've had 6 or 7 premiership players on the injury list. So to do what we're doing at the moment, to have one loss since that St Kilda game, that's in the last 11 weeks we've had one loss, which is absolutely phenomenal. To sit third, it is just this football club is absolutely incredible. Everyone wrote us off it, and now we're sitting pretty in the top 4. By the end of the round, we'll still finish in the top 4. Let's have a look at those wins and losses. So started the season off 0-3, as we know. We've had 8 wins, 4 losses, 2 draws. We've used 35 players, and we've had 6 debutants. Now our losses, again, they came against the Giants, who just wanted to give us everything they had, and they come out and they smash us by 32 points. We lose to Sydney the next week by 33, and look what Sydney's been able to go out and do. They've only lost one game, and that was to Richmond somehow. So we lose to the whole state of New South Wales in 2 weeks, and then we go and play St Kilda, and we were pretty much favourites in that game, and we lose by 15 points at the MCG, and then you're sort of going, what's going on here? No premiership team has been 0-3 to start the season since I think it was like 1999 or something like that. And then we go up to the Gabba the week after, where we don't play well. We rarely play well against Brisbane. Wasn't the grand final the only time we beat Brisbane under Craig McRae, and for the last 4 years or something like that. So we go to Brisbane, and Brisbane is 0-4 at this stage, or whatever they are. And you go, also, so that was 0-3 as well. So that was 0-3 as well. And you go, bloody hell, this is huge. And we go over there and we win by 20 points. And Nick Dacos has a belter. Jamie Alley kicks 4 goals. And that was probably one of the best wins of the season, just to really kickstart our season. We had a lot of players who were sort of down and out in the first few weeks. And I think, I'm not really a in-depth analysis sort of guy, but I feel like the game plan did change a little bit. And even when I was talking to Tom Mitchell, he did mention that in the first few weeks, we try to tweak some things, and we sort of went away from a little bit of our pressure. And then as soon as that Brisbane game starts, then the pressure pies come back. And now we're sitting number 1 for tackles. Tackles inside 50, we're going crazy for pressure. I think, wasn't it last week against Kangaroos in that second half was the best pressure all season, and the game for Melbourne. The pressure pies, and that's what we build our game around. It's the pressure, and the pressure pies are well and truly back. So then from Brisbane, we go over to Gather Round. We go over to Adelaide. We beat them by 5 points in a nail biter. We come back, and then we start getting into the flow of things. Then it's the Power by 42 points. And that game, the Power put 5 or 6 goals on in that first quarter. And we just came up, and then we thought, nah, that's not on. And then bang, 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 bang. And that was an incredible win, just because we shot ourselves in the foot straight away, and to come back from that. And the Power at this stage were a decent-ish team. They were pushing for top 4. They're a good side. And then it's the next week against Essendon, which is our first draw on Anzac Day. And the Essendon game started off a carbon copy with the Port Adelaide game, where we give them, I think they kicked 4 goals before we even had a chance to touch the ball, pretty much. And that was probably the game. And the draw, I think, 85-85, I think that was it was a draw. Like, that game deserved a draw. It was very to and fro-y. Yes, you would have loved to have in that game. Yes, Mychek's missing goals that he usually kicks, and Will Hoskin and Elliott and stuff. But then they missed that one right in front. So I think the 85-85 was justified. We go over next week against Carlton. We beat them by 6 points, so just one straight goal. The Eagles was our biggest win of the season, so 66 points, but that's the Eagles. The Crows by 4, and then we're starting to get on a little bit of a roll until we hit the Dockers. Now, the Dockers is probably the most disappointing for me, maybe because we were up by 24 or 25 points. And I know in my review of that game, I said, you can see why we sort of lost and ran out of legs. Going over to Optus, to Perth, with the outs that we had, the injuries that we had, and the young kids. We had 2 debutants. We had Ed Allen playing as a full forward in that game, who is a debutant. Will Parker is chucked into the back. So lots of stuff stacked up against us. If we had won that, it probably would have been the best win of in a home and away season, I feel like. And then we lose to the Western Bulldogs, and that one was frustrating. I think that that might have been more frustrating than the Fremantle game, because we had them dead to rights in that first quarter. We just didn't put enough goals on the board. I think we were like 4-8 or 5-8 at one stage, and we were just kicking more points than behind. Bad kicking is bad football, and we showed bad kicking in that Fremantle in that Fremantle draw, and in that Bulldogs loss. But then the Demons by 38 points, and I think the Demons is probably my favourite win of the season, because we didn't go in as favourites. Demons had a pretty full team, and they should have really smashed us, but we love a backs to the wall side. And we came, to beat the Demons by nearly 40 points for the first time since the game, since the final. And, with them booing Maynard, and there's these little side stories and stuff like that. And I think that was a pretty much our only 4-quarter performance for the whole season, I feel. And it was one of our better performances just in general. Nathan Carew comes in, kicks 3. Harrison kicks 3. It was a really good team win. And then, of course, how do you go into a bye against the Kangaroos? You beat them by a point. And if Melbourne was our best win just in general, in my opinion anyway, I feel like the Kangaroos win was a great win, just to show that it was a belief win. Collingwood has been full of belief these last 3 years since Craig McRae came into the side. And, we see it when we're sort of coming down a 3-quarter time, or we win after the siren, or we fight to the end and we kick a goal like the Carlton game. But this one was the 3rd greatest comeback from that position this century. And the belief in this team now, one, you don't want to go 54 points down at any time against anyone. But to show that we were able to come back from that, and, yes, I know North Melbourne were like 18th, but to show that we were able to come back from that, get really into their heads, it was insane. It was absolutely insane. And we not party, but like we really celebrated that win, because we shouldn't have won that. Kangaroos were phenomenal in that first half. They played like the premiership team, and we didn't. And we were shell-shocked. Bobby Hill comes out, kicks 5, takes marks over the bloody century. And it's been it was a really, really good win. Now let's talk about individual players. So our goal kicking is currently being led by Bobby Hill, 20 goals, Lockie Schultz on 18, and Mychek, who hasn't played for 3 or 4 weeks, is on 16. Now remember, Mychek has won the last 5 goal kicking awards, the Coventry Awards. So could this be the year he gets pipped at the what is it called? Pipped at the end? Pipped at the post? I don't know what that saying is, right? You can tell me what that saying is in the comments. But could this be the time that Mychek actually loses the Coventry Award? Maybe because of all these injuries. But I love the emergence of Bobby Hill at the moment. But more importantly, I'm loving what Lockie Schultz has been doing. He had a bit of a crossroads moment where in that Carlton game he let's just call it what it was, a bit of a coward punch, to the back of the head of Blake Acres. And I know they're mates, and it probably slipped up. He probably didn't mean to do that, but it was to the back of their head. He gets that suspension. Once he comes back, he's number one for tackles inside 50. His pressure is incredible. He's been a really good pickup. I know the first few weeks, and then that's just because of the team was like doing really poorly as well. These like, oh my god, we gave a first round draft pick for Lockie Schultz, and it starts sort of coming to the forefront, and people start magnifying it and stuff. And he was never going to be a 30, 40 goal forward. We brought him in for his defensive work around the forward line and what he was able to do. And now to kick 18 goals, just be second in our in the Coventry Award goal kicking trophy. Really good, and he's brought a new dynamic to the team, something that Ginnivan didn't have, and that's fair enough. Lockie Schultz has been around the traps more than Ginnivan has, but I think Lockie complements Jamie when he's playing. Bo McCreary as well. So to have Bo and Lockie just running terrors in that running tackling terrors in that forward line, it really sets up the guys like Bobby Hill, and that's why you're seeing Harrison kick more goals. And Reef McGuinness when he's playing. So I think Lockie Schultz has been an incredible pickup. It's been an amazing season for players like Patrick Lipinski, Will Hoskin-Elliott. Patrick Lipinski has gone to another level this season. We've seen him kick a couple of goals. I think he's kicked about 12 goals so far this season. And we know that last year, so he wasn't the player that we knew he was because of those two shoulder injuries. He has that sort of surgery. He doesn't come back. He's obviously plays in the Premiership, but he doesn't come back to what he was. And now he's had an uninterrupted preseason. He's hit the ground running, and that's the Patrick Lipinski that we know and love, that we picked up a couple of years ago. He's back to it. He's that sort of, I don't want to say the Taylor Adams role, but he is that sort of half forward midfielder, goes in and can kick a couple of goals. He's kicked 2 goals a couple of times, I'm pretty sure, a couple of stages, but he kicked some really important goals. So I love what Patrick Lipinski's doing. That rollish player, Will Hoskin-Elliott, they call him the Swiss Army knife, and you can see why. You can see how different our team was when he wasn't playing, and I dare say, if we have Will Hoskin-Elliott against the Dockers, if we have Will Hoskin-Elliott against the Doggies, we are probably winning those games. And not that he's a game changer, but the role that he plays, he's got, he's very mature, one of the senior players, can set up the ground, knows what to do, and we saw that against Melbourne. He was just absolutely phenomenal. Guys like Steele Sidebottom, Nick Dacos. What more can you say? He probably goes on to win a Brownlow this year. He'll go on to win the Copeland Trophy. Darcy Cameron has come from the clouds, especially now without Mason Cox for the last few weeks. And now, Mason Cox I think he's still 6 weeks away or something like that. Darcy has taken on the singular ruck role, and he's done it really well. And I still have him top 3 in the Copeland. If not, he'll be top 5. He's gone to another level this season. And, getting chopped out by Frampton, and Nathan Kruger might chop him out a little bit as well now. So I love what Darcy Cameron has been doing. And it's been good to see these players who don't usually get a lot of the accolades starting to get their name on the roster now, because some of the senior guys are going down, and we're starting to see these role players step up and play their role. Like I said, we had 6 debutants, but I'm going to do a separate video on them, sort of ranking where I see them and ranking what they're doing. But again, the emergence of Harvey Harrison, I feel like this is the season of the emergence of some of these players. And we've seen Harvey Harrison in, we saw him last year as a sort of forward, but this could be, he's in a bit of a hybrid role at the moment. Kicked 3 goals against Melbourne, 3 goals against the Dockers. So he can find a goal, which is amazing. Can take a good mark. He stands under the ball, which is very nice. I heard. Now, I can't really confirm or deny this, but I heard that he was pretty much in line for a grand final berth ahead of Ginnivan. That's how highly they rate Harvey Harrison, but they obviously went with Guinea in the grand final. But it could have been Harvey Harrison. Apparently it was a coin flip. But again, I can't confirm or deny that because, I didn't hear that from the club, but that's just what I'm hearing. Overall, the season so far, I'd probably give it a B+. An A could have been there if we have just won one more game. If we don't drop the St Kilda game, or if we don't drop the Fremantle game, I think the game that's going to really not bite us in the ass, but you go, fuck, I wish we had won that game. I think it will be the St Kilda game, seeing how they've played since that. But I think B plus for the injuries that we had. You got to think that we've done most of this stuff without Pendlebury, without De Goey, without Tom Mitchell, no Mason Cox, Jamie Elliott, who has been incredible these last few years. We don't even know when he's coming back. It's just Dan McStay. Like, when you look at that and you go, okay, they should be 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. But to be sitting third with all of these premiership stars out says a lot about what we were doing is also in the VFL, what Josh Fraser and Neville Jetta are doing in the VFL to make these VFL players go straight into the AFL and know the system straight away. I think that's absolutely incredible. Now, looking forward, we come back next Saturday against the Suns. That's an away game. And then from there, we have 7. So 7 of our last 9 games, including the Suns game, are at the MCG. We have a pretty hard run into finals. Like, look at these. These are the last 4 games. Carlton, Swans at the SCG, Lions at the G, Demons at the G. That's hard. That's Blues top 4, Swans top 4, Lions will be pushing for the 8, Demons will be pushing for the 8, and obviously the Demons is our last game. So that is an insanely hard run-in, but by then, by the Tigers game in round 20, we should have a full team. And by full team, I mean McStay, Pendlebury comes back against the Suns, Mychek comes back against the Suns, De Goey comes back against the Suns. Tom Mitchell should be around that round 20. I said Dan McStay already. Mason Cox probably, but then, watch my other video. Do we even need Mason Cox in the team with the emergence of Nathan Kruger? And there's that word again, the emergence, right? And I think that might be, for me anyway, that might be the word of our season so far. It's the emergence. And I think that really sums it up. But look, as long as we qualify, I don't care where we finish, as long as we qualify, obviously top 4 would be very nice, but we just need to qualify to play finals, and if we can bank a few more wins, we probably need to win, 6 of the last 9, you would say, and 6 wins could come, it's going to be hard, it's going to be tough, but we could bank 6 wins when these players start coming back and we start getting a full team. This second half of the season is going to be very different to the first half of the season, and I am so bloody excited. I'm so excited to see what we can do. And it starts against the Suns on Saturday. They play really well at home. We have to go there, and we have to create that solar eclipse. We have to eclipse them. We have to eclipse them at People First Stadium. And go out and smash them. Anyway, guys, this has just been my mid-season review. There's another video coming out tonight about our 6 debutants, where I sort of rank them and my thoughts on them. So watch out for that one. Let me know your rating down below from A to F, classic school ratings. But until then, like, comment, subscribe, tell your family, tell your friends, tell your pets, and until next time, double shackers. I'll swoop you later.